and gentlemen, welcome to episode 25, a quarter of those things of Speak on It. I didn't have a chance to look up athletes that wore the number 25 throughout their career. Do you know anyone who wore 25 throughout their professional career? I'm drawing a blank. Ben Simmons, the Ben Simmons episode. Ben Simmons wears 25.
I'm 25 years old. I'd rather us do that than say this is the Ben Simmons episode because that just means we can't shoot. And I'm a shooter.
You a shooter?
Look, right. if she looked good and looks like a very respectable young woman, best believe I'm shooting, man. Best believe I'm shooting.
How about this? Let's do the Barry Bonds episode. I found a few people. The Richard Sherman episode. What's up, Research? What's up, Kyle? How are you?
Yo, okay. Speaking of Barry Bonds, I don't know a lot about the MLB, and I'm not going to act like I do, but I've heard that Barry Bonds is considered like one of the greatest hitters ever, if not the greatest hitter ever.
Yeah, the thing about Barry Bonds that I know is that at one point when he came in the league, he was small. The next thing you know, he had a head like a zoo.
Okay. So what you're insinuating is that Mans was on some PEDs. And I'm here to say, based on what I know about the MLB, that's not uncommon.
What I'm saying is when he came in the league, he was your size. And then one day he came out my size. If we're talking about heads.
All right. But if he's my size, I mean, I've been in the gym, you know.
That was terrible. I should.
Y'all not seeing that I'm looking like I'm in good shape. I feel like I'm in good shape right now.
I threw you the oop. That was on me. I shouldn't have done that.
No, if we shoot, if we throw shots today, we throw shots today. Lakers looking good, Packers looking good. Let me tell you something. Now that Aaron Rodgers is back and the Lakers have been making moves, I have been trolling like straight up. If you've been talking that cash money on the low or been joking with me on the low over the last 4-5 months, look, all my friends, I got a lot of good friends who are Washington football teams fans. So my theme for today has been, I don't know who's really going to win the NFC East. Which, by the way, that's my legitimate point of view. I don't know who's going to win the NFC East because the division is so terrible. You can legitimately make a case for every single team. So today I was making the case for the New York Giants to win the division. And boy, I was just waiting for some of my friends to just be like, yo, what are you talking about, man? All I'm saying is this. You only need a 500 record to win or near a 500 record to win the NFC East because it's that bad of a division. The Cowboys are all offense and no defense. Ain't nothing going on in Philly but cheesesteaks. And the Washington football team got Fitzmagic at the helm. You can't sit here and tell me that just based off of that, the Giants don't look like they could win the division at 8-9.
So we're doing the NFC East next week, but a little, how do I say this? A little sample of what I'm going to say next week. The New York Giants aren't winning a damn thing as long as Daniel Jones is taking snaps. And we'll just leave it at that. We'll talk about the NFC East next week.
Okay. We gotta lighten up. We gotta lighten up on Danny Dimes, man.
No, hell no. He has more turnover. I looked it up a week or so ago. I think he has way more turnovers than he does starts. Like he averages 2 fumbles a game. That dude is garbage. Y'all can talk yourselves into Danny Dimes all you want, but it won't be me, Jesus.
Hey, if Giants fans can talk themselves into Danny Dimes, Washington fans are talking themselves into Fitzmagic, and I know some Eagles fans are out here telling me Jalen Hurts is up next. But before you say anything, look at my man Gerson's comment for the people who can't see. My man Gerson in the chat said the Packers' last dance is laughable. He said it's some laughable shit. The Bulls won 5 championships. Adams and Rodgers 0.
Gee.
Okay, while you're absolutely correct, winning a title in the NBA is nothing like winning a title in NFL. Granted, those are the 2 hardest leagues to win a championship in American pro sports. A football team, you really need a good team. Like you need a good. I cannot think of like a bad team overall who won a Super Bowl. Can you? I can't think of bad teams. every team that's won a Super Bowl, they had something that they could lean on. They had a portion of their team that was pretty damn good. Even the 2017 frauds who won the Super Bowl had a really good defense that they can
See,
rely on.
you talk that slick shit today on Twitter, and I let it go. Don't be mad at me because Nick Foles and Aaron Rodgers have the same amount of rings. Like, don't. That's a topic between your team wasting
So does Drew Brees. So does Drew Brees. So does Trent Dilfer. I mean, Joe Flacco. There's a whole lot.
That means you're really diluting Aaron Rodgers' ring with those names.
You're really. I'm saying.
You're saying anyone can win
one. I'm saying anyone can win one in the NFL because it's that hard to win. All you need, if your team is good that year and y'all have a good run, depending on who y'all match up with in those 3 to 4 games in the playoffs, if your team's good, you can make the run. Versus the NBA, you definitely need some depth, and you got to be your top heavy superstars. They got to go and they got to dominate. Shout out to Giannis and the team. Kyle said that he thinks the NHL is harder to win a championship in than the NBA.
I could see that. That game was a lot more physical, though.
Yeah.
Thank you, G. Eli Manning has 2 rings.
Oh, man, that's such a. See, the thing about that is that Eli Manning has 2 rings, but ask any real football heads where they put Eli Manning in their all-time QB rankings.
He's not a Hall of Famer.
Yes, he is.
He's not. He is not. And again, we can talk about this next week, but Eli Manning is not a Hall of Famer.
Yes, he is. That man.
No, he is not.
He beat 2 top 10 quarterbacks of all time on his way to winning 2 Super Bowl rings.
I need more. He has a sub 500 record. He does not sniff the Hall of Fame.
That is a funny stat. I did not know that was real until I looked it up. I was like, yo, this dude definitely lost way more than he won. But when he won, it was like, yo, what? He went on crazy moves.
Eli Manning is tar heroin. It's great when you high, but when you off of it, whoo! You in for a rough night.
Oh my goodness. All right.
So yeah,
what we talking about today?
What we talking about? So first of all, the show is brought to you by goingfor2.com. Head over to goingfor2.com for all your daily fantasy needs. Football season is back. Starting Thursday night, we have the Hall of Fame game, Dallas and Pittsburgh. We have football every week until the Super Bowl. So rest in, people. Head over to Going for 2. Get all your fantasy needs. Tonight, we're talking free agency. We're going to preview the AFC East. We're going to talk about training camps. And if we have some time, we might banter about breakfast foods. But first, let's talk about NBA free agency and specifically your Los Angeles Lakers. The Wizards and the Lakers agreed on a trade to send Russell Westbrook, a 2024 second-round pick, a 2028. How can you trade a pick 7 years down the road? A 2028 second-round pick for Kyle Kuzma, Trez, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, and the number 22 pick in the draft that just passed. What are your thoughts on both teams? The Lakers have made a lot of moves today, like in the past 24 hours of free agency. So you have the floor. Talk to me about your Los Angeles Lakers.
It's funny because when we were thinking of what we wanted to talk about for this show, we were sitting here thinking we were only going to be talking about the Lakers making the Westbrook trade, and now they've made so many moves that where my stance has now changed. Anyone knows me, or the people close to me have been hitting me up about this Westbrook trade. When I heard about it, I was like, yo, are we dead ass? Like, how are we supposed to get some depth and some real shooters? Damn, my bad, Rob Pelinka. I clearly am not an NBA GM for a reason, because over the last 72 hours or so, last 3 or 4 days, the moves we made to bring in Wayne Ellington, Dwight Howard's coming back. Now we got Malik Monk, we got Melo. These are solid moves that definitely overall make the Westbrook trade look a lot better. Let me tell you right now, I think healthy, like if you keep Westbrook, LeBron, and AD healthy, and then the depth continues to play at the levels they were playing at their previous teams and shooting around the same clip that they were shooting at, I think the ceiling for this team is easily the finals. I think they can definitely, now I don't want to say they'll win it, but I think they'll give whoever comes out of the East a very, very good series. I think, what my man said, Rob got the plug talk. I agree. I don't know I'm not quite sure how Rob did it. I don't know how he did it, but shout out to him doing it. I guess, okay, and this is the last thing I'm going to say. It's funny how people always say, yo, why does LeBron need all this help to win these rings? Why is the narrative never, yo, X, Y, and Z decided to take less money so they could make sure they're playing with LeBron?
That's fair.
Like, if you think about my man Kendrick Nunn had offers to make more money at other places and definitely decided he wanted a chance to win a ring. We were able to re-sign THT too, which is a big sign because I think he's honestly going to definitely outplay that contract. All I'm saying is, on paper, I really like this roster. I think they still got a few more moves to make. And I'm going to be honest with you, if we find a way to get Buddy Hield in some facet of the imagination, it doesn't look likely now. But if we were able to get Buddy Hield, but I really like this Lakers team. I will say, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I have to burp people. I just ate not so long ago. I will say in regards to this Lakers team, they're a little bit on the older side. So on the second night of back-to-backs, I'm not going to expect much. I'm going to tell you right now, by game 30, 32, them Lakers, they're going to play young teams like the Hawks, Grizzlies. They're going to see how they run up and down the court. They're going to be like, nah, fam, I ain't trying to do this shit.
They're going to be fouling like crazy.
I ain't trying to deal with you young-ass bulls out here running up and down the court. Y'all got it, man. I'll just play sound defense. Defense might be a problem, too, because, with some of this age, a lot of them is not going to feel like playing defense in, the regular season. But I think comes postseason time, we're going to be all right.
So you guys are saying Rob got that plug talk. This is LeBron. This is LeBron making moves. Yeah, I can give Rob Pelinka the credit if you want, but this is LeBron. LeBron. So this team, before free agency started, after the season ended, what did you guys need the most?
Depth in shooters.
Yes. And out of all these transactions, I don't see one decent 3-point shooter with Wayne Ellington. So you got Wesley Matthews. Okay, Wesley Matthews can shoot. Ben McLemore.
No, Ben McLemore, he went to the Trailblazers.
Okay, so this needs to be updated on ESPN side there. So yeah, like Wayne Ellington, Ben. Well, you said Ben's gone, and Wesley Matthews. Melo. I'm talking about 3-point shooters. Like Melo's not.
You're talking about specific like 3-and-D type of guys.
Yeah, not even 3-and-D. Like you guys need 3-point shooters. You got plenty of guys that can get their own shot. Yeah, your roster's full of those guys. But who can spread the floor, right? Like now you just pack the paint. You just play the Lakers like you played Milwaukee. Like pack the paint. If you beat me with the shot, you beat me with the shot. I mean, this team is going to be top 4 in the West because LeBron James is alive and breathing on this planet. Like I'm not trying to be disrespectful at all. Like this Lakers team.
Davis. That's another top.
And Anthony Davis, yeah,
top 10 player in the league.
He is, but but LeBron James is the show. People come to see LeBron. LeBron James is the best basketball player on planet Earth right now. But this Lakers team has a lot of holes in it, specifically 3-point shooting. And I do not know what rock LeBron and Rob Pelinka are going to look under to get 3-point shooters. But hey, man, enjoy it. You got Russell Westbrook. You got a secondary ball handler, a playmaker who can slash and run to the rim. You got Anthony Davis. You got Melo. The Banana Boat crew is halfway full. He's played with everyone but Chris Paul. I mean, it's cool. You'll be top 4 in the West, which is what you always are. But do I think you're going to win a championship? Probably, if we're being honest. But I don't know. Like,
okay, my question to you then is, who do you think is, like, just on paper, what rosters in the West do you think have a better win than the Lakers?
That's going to be the hard part, right? Like who gonna rock with the Lakers? I think Golden State has taken a lot of hits with some of these Lakers signings because I think Golden State, like I know they wanted Kent Bazemore. They talked to Kent turned and went to the Lakers. I mean, Kawhi has a torn ACL. Like the Clippers are going to be the Clippers we've known and made fun of for years. I think Utah, I mean, they'll be there, I guess. But we know how I feel about Utah. We're not going there tonight. Denver been lying to us for years. They have some sort of regular season burst where they go like 20-3 or they win 15 in a row and they get us believing they're championship contenders and they flame in the playoffs. I mean, I don't think Dallas has done enough to even be mentioned in the top tier of the West. So, yeah, I mean, the Lakers are the best team in the West. I mean, look, man,
You sound like someone who's a little bit upset that a certain Slovenian is not getting any help on his team. Meanwhile, a certain king from Akron, they loading up his roster.
We're talking about since we're talking about the Mavericks. The Mavericks have added what Luka needs. They've added all the 3-point shooting on the planet. Luka is surrounded by snipers now.
Who? I know y'all
Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock is a 3-point shooter. We signed. What's that kid from the Rockets who shot like at the same clip as Steph Curry for a while there? Let me see. We re-signed Tim Hardaway Jr. Like the Mavs have shooters. Hopefully they can, because that was the Mavericks' problem last year, right? Like Luka would do all this work, have wide open teammates, and they don't make their shots. Okay, we have a comment about the Lakers last season 3-point percentage. Wayne Ellington was 42, Melo was 40, Bazemore was 40, Malik was 40, Ariza was 35. Okay then. So if those guys shoot like that, then yeah, the Lakers are unstoppable. Like I'm not saying the Lakers are going to be sorry. They're still the best team in the West. I just didn't know that their shooting percentages like that. Okay, then it makes sense. Fine. The Lakers are going to win.
And most of them took vet minimums. Most of them, like that. I think that speaks a lot to what they think this Lakers roster can be. Like if you're taking vet minimums from guys in a league where you can be a ski mask Hall of Famer and rack up generational wealth. You know, because I know a few. I mean, I'm looking at a few NBA players who are definitely just racking up some wealth. They're saying, "I made enough money. I want a ring." Then, I mean, you see a guy like PJ Tucker get traded to a team, get a ring, and then bounce, and they're thinking, yo, I can get a ring this year and then bounce.
Shout out to PJ Tucker. He sat on that stage with that champagne and said, run that shit back. And now he in Miami drinking champagne every day.
Look, he saw He saw the Milwaukee Baddies and said, I got to go. Like, I got to go. Now he in Miami with them honeys. PJ. I see you. Okay, so transitioning to the East, what are you thinking about the moves being made in the East? 'Cause I'm going to be honest with you. I'm looking at the moves the Bulls made. You can't tell me they're not like a 5th seed right now, a 4 or 5 seed.
Yeah, absolutely. But for me, it's about Miami. Pat Riley does it again. I don't know. Pat Riley's the mob, dog. I don't know how Pat Riley does it. If Pat Riley have an off year, guess what? He coming back harder next year and he going to the Eastern Conference Finals. You can write that in blood. Like Pat Riley has found a way to just rebuild this roster, and now all he needs is Tyler Hero to be a decent 6-man, and they're going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Which is funny because I think the same thing kind of happened with LeBron that happened with Pat Riley. They got done up in the first round, and they went back to their organizations and said, "Look, you fucking up my legacy. You fucking up my legacy. I don't care what you got to do, but give me a damn competent roster." Now, maybe more so Pat Riley than LeBron because the Lakers lost in 6. The Heat got swept. And Pat Riley looked at that roster and said, nah, fam, this ain't happening again. I expect them to definitely make the second round. I think they're going to give the Bucks and or the Nets some trouble. They could make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Just depends on, seeding, where they fall. I think if they're able to fall into that maybe 2 through 4 range, they can easily get them a good pathway to making it to the conference finals. If they fall into that 5 to 8 range, who knows? What's funny is I don't know if the Sixers have really made a lot of moves on there, and I think they might be trying to see if they can trade our guy Ben Simmons to see, what they can maybe give at this point in free agency. I mean, we almost 2-3 days in, and you still ain't made no moves. The good ones being gone, so they prepared to run it back. There's a couple teams who they're about to run it back with the same roster, and I'm sitting here like, yo, you either know something that we don't, or you a ski mask Hall of Famer. 2 teams I want to call out specifically: the Boston Celtics and the Portland Trailblazers. I think they are the same franchises on opposite ends of the country.
Go on, Kyle. We see your message. We're coming to you, but I need to hear this.
I genuinely think that the Celtics and the Trailblazers will always be good, but never good enough to win it all. Just based off of what they do, what type of moves they make. I think they're content in being content. and I've had some Celtics homies say that the Boston Celtics are playing the 2022 summer free agency game. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're banking on Bradley Beal, look, man, you better hope that Wizards have a god awful year. And even then, don't even bank on that because they could have a god awful year and he could still maybe want to come back. Now they got Spencer Dinwiddie. They've added a few other pieces. The Wizards themselves might be a 6-7 seed. And all they got to do is take a team to six or 7 games, and I think Bradley Beal will come right back.
Yeah.
Look, some of y'all gonna be in for it this season, maybe next season too. But what are we getting Kyle's thoughts on? Or our thoughts to Kyle on?
So Kyle Research wants to know our thoughts on the Kyle Lowry trade. I love it. I love it for the Heat.
I like it for the Heat. I think it's good for Kyle Lowry. I think he did all he could do in Toronto, got one championship a couple years ago. I think now he's looking at this Heat team as like, yo, this could be my last stop in my career. If all things go well, why not play for a team whose culture is really well, on a team full of dogs, with like Jimmy Butler and Bam, obviously run by Pat Riley. This could be a really good Heat roster. Top 3, top 4 in the league.
Let's do a little gambling right now. Over under. How many fights does this Heat team get in next season? I'm gonna set the bar 9.5.
I'm gonna take the over. I'll take the over. I got an over under for you. How many ejections for the Lakers within the first month due to Westbrook, Dwight, and who else?
Morris?
No, he's on the Heat now. Between Westbrook and Dwight, first month of the season, how many ejections?
I'll set the over under.
I'm going to set the over at. I'm going to set the line at 4 in the first month.
I'll take the under.
Think so?
Yeah,
okay. I think 2 apiece. I think 2 apiece will happen.
2 apiece.
It's going to be funny.
Okay.
I think what's going to be the funniest part about the Lakers season will be the first month when they're still figuring themselves out in those takes. I think that's going to be funny. I think the second thing that's going to be funny is the first time and the first close game the Lakers play, and we're down going into like the last minute of the fourth, probably maybe down 1, and Westbrook takes a nut ass 3 that we don't need, and the other team swings it back for a 3 in transition, and we lose by 6. And I'm going to be like, welcome to the Russell Westbrook experience, and he's going to come back the next game and have a 40-point triple double, and I'm going to be like, that's why we traded for him. And that's just going to be the joyride.
Beautiful.
That's going to be the roller coaster of the Russell Westbrook season.
Cal, can you put in the chat what the Raptors got back? Because every time I read, it's like they might get Goran Dragic. They might. Like, do you have the full terms? Cal asked us, what about what the Raptors got in return? And every time I read it, I don't see anything concrete. So, Kyle, if you can put in the chat what the Raptors got back for Kyle Lowry, whatever it was, it probably wasn't enough because Siakam's next, right? Like I think Masai, and this is a message to Masai because you could have been the Mavericks general manager and you could be trying to build a team around Luka right now, but you wanted to stay in Toronto.
Why would he do that when he already has he already got a ring, and he won a ring off of banking on a generational superstar coming in and doing what a generational superstar should do?
What is Luka?
Okay, he is a generational superstar, but he was in a win now mode at the time.
Masai, you had your
moment. And I would say that Raptors roster was better than any roster that Luka's had.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like Masai, you could have came to Dallas and built something special. You could have built a dynasty, but you decided to stay loyal to Drake, and now you're going to have to trade Siakam.
The Raptors are in the East, where it's easier to even get.
Really, because the East, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Miami, Philadelphia, Atlanta, and you can even throw the Knicks in there. That's 6. And we ain't even got to Toronto. We ain't even got to Chicago yet. That's 7. Charlotte.
Now I think you're reaching because
I'm just talking about that's the 8th seed though.
That's I think Charlotte's going to be good. I would maybe think that maybe the Raptors could take him for the 7th seed,
and then get throttled by Brooklyn in 5. You don't want to be in basketball purgatory, like the 7th, 8th, like the 7th through 10th, like that is purgatory. Like you're just good enough to make the playoffs, but you're not bad enough to get in the lottery to draft someone who can change your franchise. Like that is hell. Who wants to be the 7th seed for 5 years and get throttled by Kevin Durant or Giannis or Jimmy? Like who wants that?
The Celtics and the Blazers. Dead ass. Yo, in like 2 years, we're gonna be talking about Dame. I completely understand why you left. Like, I feel like that's where we're gonna be at in like two years or so.
Dame, you know where to go. So they got Dragic in another play. I mean, I guess it's cool for Kyle Lowry. Like, for this is more about Miami than Toronto. Like, Kyle, you need to prepare. I know you live in Canada and winters are cold. This is going to be a long winter, like in physically and like in the universe for Toronto fans, because you guys are going to be in for some terrible basketball for a long. You are at the genesis of a rebuild.
Years to reboot in the NBA. Kyle, don't listen to him. Nick Nurse is a good coach. Give him, if not this year, give him 2 years. They're gonna be right back to being a 2-3.
That's a long time. 3 years is a long time to watch bad basketball. You got to trade Siakam now. Like you've already started the rebuild. You can't half rebuild. You got to do the whole rebuild.
Oh man, why can't? Okay, I had a homie who said the Blazers should trade for Siakam, and I said, yo, you do realize that the Raptors watch the Blazers play too? And she said, yeah. And I said, so who do you think the Raptors would want? And she said, C.J. McCollum. And I said, C.J. McCollum for Pascal Siakam straight up? You're smoking crack.
Yeah, she on that black tar.
Oh,
Cal, if it gets cold in Toronto, I'll save a seat for you on the Dallas bandwagon. You can come cheer for Luka while he takes his mantle as the best player in the NBA, because that's happening next year.
Let's move on to the next question, because you're just talking crazy now.
Okay, so let's talk about the NFL and training camps. Most notably, the biggest story is that Carson Wentz and now their all-star offensive lineman Quentin Nelson both have the same injury, a foot injury, and they both will be out 5 to 12 weeks. This question is more so focused on Carson, but we can throw Quentin in there too. Well, the question is geared toward Carson. Let's talk about Carson. So who should be more worried about this? The Eagles, who need a first-round pick if Carson plays 75% of the snaps or 70% of the snaps and makes the playoffs, or the Colts? D, who should be worried right now?
Eagles fans, you should be worried. And I'm gonna start this off by speaking to Colts fans. Colts fans, let it go. Whatever thought you had coming into the season, let it go. The division stinks for one, and the Titans are about to sleepwalk through that entire division. You guys have no chance. So the Eagles fans should be worried, because y'all know y'all stink. And y'all know y'all were banking on the Colts really trying to ride the Carson Wentz wave to get that first round pick. And now y'all are like, that son of a bitch does what he always does. Gets hurt. Let me tell you something, man. You know I never really bought into the Carson Wentz stock. Mm-hmm. You know that.
I do.
Now I'm like, yo, the dude just might be a fraud. He might be a fraud who robbed the Eagles a gigantic contract, and now is robbing the Colts of a gigantic contract. The Quentin Nelson injury, I believe, is going to hurt him more, because I believe Carson Wentz was going to set them back. Eagles fans, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Colts fans, get ready for some close games with the Jaguars and the Texans, and to get blown out by the Titans. And a whole bunch of other blowouts are coming, because it's going to be spooky and indeed. It's going to be sad, though, because Frank Reich going to catch the blame when I don't believe he's the reason for this happening.
Nope.
Go ahead.
So let me start by saying I really do feel sorry for Carson right now, right?
I do too.
Like his injury, like this is really sad. Like, I'm sorry, Carson. But as an Eagles fan, baby, I'm living stress-free. I ain't got to worry about who my quarterback for 5 to 12 weeks. I ain't got to worry about reading injury reports. I ain't got to worry about reading on foot injuries. I know, knock on wood, that my man Jalen gonna be all right come week 1. I ain't got to worry about none of that. It is so nice to go into a season not worrying about if your quarterback gonna break in half because of the wind blow. I'm living stress free. Let me tell you something. The Colts gonna be garbage. So that second round pick gonna be a real high second round pick. It might as well be a first. That doesn't bother me because if the Eagles are going to be bad, which they probably will, I think differently. We'll talk about that next week. But everyone's saying the Eagles are going to be bad. That's fine. That means we'll have a top 10 pick. We're going to go over the AFC East in a few minutes. I really don't have a lot of faith in Miami. Guess who has Miami's first round pick? We do. Philadelphia, baby. So that's 2 of them things that's probably in the top 15. And then if the Colts suck, which they will because they're missing Quentin Nelson and Carson, we're going to have a high second round pick along with our high second round pick and we can always trade our first round pick next year if something comes up where we can grab a guy who we think is a game changer if Jalen doesn't work out. It's fine. It is okay. There's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to stress about. If we suck, we'll be in the top 10 anyway. If there's a quarterback Philadelphia loves, or if Russell Wilson is in Seattle and he wants out, or if Aaron Rodgers wants out, the Eagles will have the draft capital, the cap space, and they have some players for teams that want to win now, a la Fletcher Cox, Zach Ertz, a team that like an Arizona that needs a tight end who might give up a third for Zach Ertz, or a team that might give up a second for Fletcher Cox. Like the Eagles have all the flexibility in the world. We are stress-free. We just hope Devontae's knee sprain isn't serious. Breathe easy, Philadelphia. We are okay. If Jalen sucks, then he sucks. It's going to be okay either way. And if Jalen is that dude, Skip, 2 first-round picks to fill holes that this team needs. I'm living on easy straight. Life is good over here.
Yo, where do you get your weed from? Because it's got to be strong. You getting it from Cali? What? Are you serious?
Where was the lie? Tell me where my lie was. Why should I be stressed up? I'm not worried about Carson.
I agree with you on the fact that the Eagles are going to stink. I don't agree with you that teams are going to be willing to dish out a second for Fletcher Cox. No. Actually, no, I can see it for Fletcher Cox. Zach Ertz is where I think you got me.
I said a third.
No.
That's not a lot.
Zach Ertz isn't worth a third no more in his career. I don't want to call him washed, but
he close. Apparently in training camp he's balling. But for a team like Arizona, like who may be a piece away, and they're desperate. Oh yeah, Howie. We can say whatever we want about Howie Roseman, and trust me, I've said everything about Howie Roseman, but he know how to trade. He can work a trade.
You think Nick Foles comes back?
No, that chapter's over.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
They didn't give Joe Flacco $3.5 million guaranteed to bring back Nick Foles. That's not happening. No, that chapter's closed. This is Jalen's team.
I agree, Kyle. I can see that being more realistic. So Kyle in the chat says, I don't think any team gives up the 7th round pick for Ertz. They will play chicken and let the Eagles cut him. 1,000%.
Okay, that's fine. You find a desperate team. I didn't think we'd get the haul for Sam Bradford that we did, and then Teddy Bridgewater tore his knee up. Hey man, all it takes is I'm not wishing this on Travis Kelce, right? Because he's one of the best tight ends. Or let George Kittle get hurt. Let Travis Kelce get hurt. You telling me Andy Reid not picking up the phone? Hey, yo, what you want for Zach Ertz? A 3? It's on the way. It's in the mail. Send him over. Hey man, how we know how to fleece people?
But I think a third round pick is in the NFL. A third round pick is needed.
I know.
That's where you find your depth.
But if you're a team that you believe you're on the verge of winning a Super Bowl, you're gonna sit there and look at your fans and say, "Sorry guys, I can't give up this third round pick because."
I'm just saying, I don't know if a tight end is really the piece of team.
Hey man, Zach Ertz has won a Super Bowl. He caught the touchdown to win the Super Bowl for the Eagles.
Okay. All right.
Do you have any other training camp notes or anything you've noticed that you want to
talk about? Man, that joker Aaron Rodgers has been wheeling and dealing.
I've heard.
can't. And even I've been hearing Jordan Love's been looking pretty good, or he's been looking decent for a young quarterback. I think there's some things, obviously, I think that young quarterbacks love to do, trying to, run the ball, run, quick to run it, don't want to kind of read through all their progressions. I saw a little bit about Justin Fields. I saw a little bit of his footage for Bears camp. Okay, here's my thing. Now that I really feel like this will be the last Aaron Rodgers Packers year, I'm gonna come out and say something. I think next year, which will be the division's first year without Aaron Rodgers, I think the Bears or the Vikings likely take the division. But after that, I think it's Jordan Love's division for the next 5 to 10 years.
You saying Jordan Love is like that?
I think with 3 to 4 years in this system under his belt, he's gonna come out. He's gonna be wheeling and dealing it.
Okay. I mean, you guys have been spoiled.
Like Adams. You say what?
Fantasy Futures podcast. You're right. Ertz is being slept on, but let him sleep. It's okay. Let him sleep. Rest easy. But I'm saying, you think Jordan Love is like that?
He could be. I think in the right, if he really learns the offense, learns the playbook, learns how to read through his progressions, read defenses with Matt LaFleur, yeah, the weapons we got. Look, man, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if even next year, the first Jordan Love year, if we're like 1 or 2 games away from making the playoffs.
Okay.
I think he'll be, and on top of that, Rodgers has been kind of coaching him up too. I know everyone likes to paint this picture of dude being like a jackass, but he's a good leader. And part of me also thinks there's a chance that Rodgers might just end up retiring.
He might. We'll see. We'll see what John Elway has to say about that.
Yeah, like that. Why would he? The thing is, I hear everyone's like, "Oh, his girlfriend lives in Denver," but look, man.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Or something like that. That man, Aaron Rodgers, is a smart man. He's going to look at rosters and say, "Yo, if I leave this team and go to another team, what's the benefit in me moving to like a Denver?"
Denver's roster low-key nice. They just need a quarterback. You got Judy, Sutton, Noah Fano offense.
That sounds good until you got to play Herbert and Mahomes 4 times. Combined 4 times in a calendar football year, and then next thing you know, your divisional record is god awful, and you're sitting here fighting for your wild card life, and it's like, what's the point, man? Like,
Speaking of Herbert, that was my dude. Did you see that throw to Keenan Allen? Boy, were the streets wrong about that guy. Like, he's usually Pac-12 quarterbacks kind of, dog.
Pac-12, Alabama, and Ohio State quarterbacks usually fool the masses, but
Justin, I saw that throw. I said, "Sir, I am a believer." Mm-hmm. Not that I wasn't before, but I am a believer. Kyle, research. I forgot you're a big Packers fan. Like, you and D should just talk about the Packers.
I agree, Kyle. And people, another thing people don't think about, to Kyle's point, if and when the Packers trade Aaron Rodgers, the haul that is coming back to the Packers, I mean, you're definitely losing your best player in some way, shape, or fashion. You're one of your best 2 or 3 players in some way, shape, or fashion. So you're going to win, but at what cost? And then it's going to go back to my point. Aaron Rodgers is going to look at that roster then and he's going to be like, is this really worth it?
So let me ask you and Kyle a question, and I want you to think about this before you answer. And Kyle, this goes for you too. If Aaron Rodgers gets traded to Miami and Miami throws in Tua, would you take Tua or Jordan Love?
I think I would take Jordan Love just because he might have some more familiarity with the offense. Yeah, that's my answer. I think I would take Jordan Love because he has years under the belt in the offense. But it's hard because Tua is really good and he's mobile too. So I don't know. Even Kyle said Tua. So
because you can't keep Tua and Aaron Rodgers. Like, Tua has to go if you go get Aaron Rodgers. Tua got to go.
Yeah, but Tua and Jordan Love. Like, I don't think we would make a trade for another quarterback because I think we'd believe in Jordan Love. So then it would be, what assets outside of draft picks. I've never been one to really believe in draft picks because I'd rather take the proven player over the guy who hasn't been drafted yet. So then it's like, okay, what legitimate players along with draft picks would make sense for Aaron Rodgers from Miami's standpoint?
Well, Xavier Howard is pissed. Well, you want to just talk about the AFC East since we here?
I'm here. We can talk about the AFC East.
Okay, so that's one of my storylines. So let's get to team records. You go first. What records do you have for the year for each team?
All right. So for the AFC East, people, we're doing a little bit of a breakdown of the AFC East, starting with divisional records. So I'm gonna start from the bottom of the AFC East. I don't know if this really surprises anyone. I have the New York Jets finishing dead ass last in the AFC East with a record of 3-14.
Okay.
In the division, I think they go 0-6. I don't even think they win a game. Then I have the Miami Dolphins finishing 7-10 next year with a divisional record of 3-3. I think they'll sweep the Jets. I think they'll probably split with Buffalo or something like that. Then I have Buffalo. In the division at 11-6. I think the league is going to figure out how exactly to stop the Buffalo offense because I've always thought that it's hard for a good team unless you have godlike players like Mahomes, Brady, Rodgers. Unless you have those type of players, it's hard for you to just keep working these defensive coordinators over and over again before they figure you out. And I think next year's the year the Bills take a little bit of a step back because teams figured them out. So I have the Bills finishing second in the division at 11-6 with a divisional record of 3-3. I actually have them tied with the divisional winner of the New England Patriots, who I feel like are also going to finish 11-6. But get this, I think the Patriots are going to go undefeated in the division. I think the Patriots are going to be the only team in the NFL next year that does not lose a single divisional game. I think that's solely because Bill is smart, and Bill knows that if he can beat his division and then win a couple games outside of the division, you not only have a very good chance of winning the division, but you have a very good chance of finishing high in the rankings enough to maybe get him a 2 seed, which I have the Patriots being next season. I have the Patriots being a 2 seed. I said last week I have the Titans being the 1 seed. So yes, I am standing on it. I have the Titans being the 1 seed, Patriots being the 2nd seed, and I have the Patriots finishing 11-6, 6-0 in the division. Look, man, I think Bill Belichick, people, greatest NFL coach of all time, and it's hard for him. It's hard for me as a fan of football, and I think a knowledgeable football fan, to sit here and say I think Bill's going to have 2 bad years. No, I think he's going to get his defense fully back. I think Cam Newton and I think Josh McDaniels and Cam Newton are going to put together an offense that really fits the personnel they have, and they're going to lean on running the football and playing good defense and winning a whole lot of close games. 11-6, 2 seed.
Okay, that is spicy. So I'm gonna start from the bottom like you did up. I have the Jets being the worst team in the division. That's not a surprise. I have them 2-15. I don't think I'm not believing in the Jets at all. I have the Jets division. Their 2 wins are in the division. They'll probably beat Miami. They'll probably pull up something against the Bills or the Patriots, whatever. I have the Dolphins at 8-9, 2-4 in the division. I think we're eye to eye on that. Give a game or two. I have the Patriots in second, 9-8, but 4-2 in the division. I believe in Cam too, just not as much as you. Cam said he feels healthy, which is great. Like he said, he's the healthiest he's been since the Super Bowl, right? Since the MVP year, which is great.
That's great for everyone who's a big Cam fan, which I am.
Which I am as well. I hope Cam has a bounce back season as long as he doesn't say he's in the best shape of his life, because that's the precursor. That's the kiss of death. He didn't say that. And then last year, I was so disrespectful to Buffalo. And now this year, I feel like the pendulum, like this is an overcorrect. Like I'm overshooting this. But when I went through their schedule, I was like, okay, I could see it. I got them 14-3, 4-2 in the division, and they are my 1 seed.
Why is everyone drinking the Bills Kool-Aid? Y'all saw them last year, and y'all don't think that the league is just going to adjust to figure out how to beat them? It's not like they have weapons like the Chiefs do, where they're just too fast because you can't coach speed. Outside of Stephon Diggs and a few others, outside of Stephon Diggs, who on that Buffalo's offense are you like, that's a scary cover?
This is more of a hat tip. I can't believe I'm saying this. God, what a year. To Josh Allen.
Okay.
And if I am wrong, I will wear that with pride because I've thrown a lot of dirt on Josh Allen. I don't know, man. Like, there is something to be said about what you said. Like, it's easier to be good when no one expects you to be good. It's a whole nother animal to be good when people think
you're good. No, you're good.
Yeah.
People, I want y'all to know, do y'all not realize the trend? Every year, some random ass team just comes out, wins about 10, 11, 12 games because no one could game plan for them. No one was expecting them to be that good. Last year, it was the Bills. I don't think
I could see that. I could see that. I could absolutely 100% see that. But this is a respect for them making it to the AFC Championship.
And then to your point, and then just add on to your point. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
You're fine.
To add on to my point, you also have to account for at least 1 to 2 losses on some bullshit. Hail Marys, failed calls, fumble to end the game, field goal, walk-off field goal. Like, y'all don't account for just some pure fuckery happening. Because it happens not only in the NFL, it happens in college football, it happens in high school football. That is football. You're going to lose at least 1 to 2 games that you definitely should have won. Come on.
Yeah, that happened to Buffalo last year.
By the way, I do think Belichick is the best coach ever. I know, the trophy's obviously named after Vince Lombardi, but while I think Lombardi was the OG, come on now. Bill is that dude. Bill consistently just takes away your best number one option and forces you to make someone else beat you, which when you do that consistently year after year, even when they didn't win the Super Bowl, year after year, that defense gave people hell. It gave people, do you know how many really, really good teams didn't win the Super Bowl or didn't win the AFC because the Patriots were able to were just able to game plan a way to just completely stop them?
Because they cheated?
Here you go. Okay.
I mean, we have.
You about to go to Spygate.
I'm not saying one thing or another. I'm just saying there's a lot of dirt around the Patriot name that was put on there by themselves. It's so self-inflicted. Kyle, when we preview the AFC North in a couple weeks, we can talk about the Browns being the top 4 team in the AFC, but I have them in the top 4.
Kyle, I'll be honest with you, I do not. I actually have the Browns barely missing the playoffs.
So I can't wait for AFC North. I have them as a top 4 seed.
Okay.
I'm drinking the Brown Kool-Aid. Paul, that is.
I like the Browns Kool-Aid. I just think the AFC is going to be deep, and you have to account for one team being good that you didn't expect to be good.
The Los Angeles Chargers, baby.
That's mine too. Getting the last playoff spot and just cheating somebody out of a playoff berth.
The Los Angeles Chargers. All right, so what are your biggest storylines coming out of the AFC East?
Cam Newton winning comeback player of the year next year.
Yay, come on now.
Cam Newton winning comeback player of the year. And people, I can't wait till next year we get Superman Cam back. Man, y'all just don't understand. Cam Newton really one of the greatest college football players ever. That year at Auburn, that's when I was like, oh yeah, this dude's different. Then he came in his first year. He was like, he showed the league, nah, I'm different. Even the Super Bowl year, I know they didn't win, but that was still one of the best seasons, just like from a football fan's perspective, taking myself out. Oh man, that was one of the best teams to watch. That was a team. Man. Cam Newton beat greatness into Josh Norman for a season.
Yo, that was great, dog. That's the best picture in like football history.
Beat greatness into a season. Not only did Josh Norman have one hell of a season that year, he went and got the bag and hasn't been the same since. Cam Newton beat greatness. Cam Newton, comeback player of the year. I think that's going to be the big storyline next year.
I can't wait for the subtle dog whistle racism that's coming once Cam starts winning again, because I kind of missed that.
From his own Boston media too.
By the Boston. Oh, dog. Do you remember when he won MVP? I think you and I talked about this before. This woman in Tennessee wrote like a letter to the newspaper and was like, Cam needs to behave better. My daughter was watching, and then start talking about how he has kids with the woman he's not married to. Like the racism. Oh, it's football season when life is good when Cam getting that subtle jab.
You know when football back when people are complaining about their touchdown celebrations because they never look at their defense to say, yo, please stop them from scoring so I don't have to see this. They look at the guy who keeps scoring and saying, yo, you don't have to keep celebrating. Yes, the fuck I do.
Yes, I do. I need this money.
So I guess we're both on the same page that Cam Newton winning comeback player of the year, he's going to be biggest storylines, huh?
Yes. Well, my biggest storyline of the year is the Buffalo Bills in this COVID vaccine situation. Like, the Buffalo Bills are finally good and can finally compete for a Super Bowl. It might be derailed because Cole Beasley in these streets making raps about the COVID vaccine and COVID being fake and my body, like Cole Beasley is going to derail this team and it's going to be hilarious. I'm sorry. Like, that shit funny to me. Like, he out in these streets.
Can't wait for the Buffalo Bills as a team to go out in public and be denied admittance because it has a vaccinated only sign on the door. Yo, people, I've been telling people, stop trying to convince anti-vaxxers to vaccinate because it's a waste of your time. It's been well over a year. The information is out here. If at this point you don't want to get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated. Unless your employer says you have to get vaccinated. Guess what you got to go do? You got to go get vaccinated
or find a new job, right? Like, if you don't if you don't want to get, like, that is for real. Like, that is your right. If you want to get vaccinated, that's your right. At the same time, like, for me, it's Cole Beasley's defiance. Like, what are the Bills going to do? Fire me? Yes, motherfucker. They gonna fire you and all. Like, if you are the source of a COVID outbreak on that team, don't you think for a second the Buffalo Bills will not show you the door? Like, I know he says he's the best slot receiver in the NFL. No, you're not. And even if you were, the Bills are not going to derail.
First off, Cole Beasley, and I mean this with no disrespect, how are you the best slot receiver when Antonio Brown can still line up in the slot and still give someone hell?
I don't know.
How are you the best slot receiver in the league when Deontay Johnson from the Steelers can get busy from that position? Man, don't get me started. Don't get me started. Don't.
But yes,
Cole Beasley.
For me, that is he not. He made a rap about that joint. No, he's too defiant. Like, he's too stuck. He has his heels in the ground. He's not getting vaccinated again, which is fine. Like, you don't have to get vaccinated, but just know that if you are the source, because if the NFL saying, like, if a COVID outbreak happens, like, you're you're forfeiting, and it's going against your playoff, not your draft positioning, but it's going to go against your playoff seeding. So if they have to forfeit a game because Cole was out in these streets wilding and they missed the playoffs, woo, skip.
So, like, Cole Beasley might do some shit like cost them a game against the fucking New York Jets.
That's where one of the Jets wins comes from.
Yeah, that's where one of the Jets wins comes from. A fucking forfeit from the Buffalo Bills was Cole Beasley and a few others didn't want to get vaccinated. So who do you have as the breakout player in the division?
So for me, what I have for me, and this was my other big storyline, it's Tua. Like, I've been reading a lot about how great Tua looks in camp. I think Tua is being Alabama Tua than rookie Tua. I think Miami's it's going to be 8-9, but it's time. It's Tua. We here.
That's my breakout player too. I like Tua. I think I know I said, I would take Jordan Love over Tua if the trade for Aaron Rodgers ever happens, but don't get me wrong. As someone who watched Tua play in college and seeing how good he is, this second year under his belt will not surprise me if this guy has a great season next year. And I'm banking on it. I might even consider drafting him in my fantasy football league, but we're not talking fantasy. We're talking real football. I like Tua Tagovailoa to be the breakout player of the AFC East. Division MVP.
We talked about him earlier, Mr. Stephon Diggs.
Honestly, I'm going to go with another Stephon. I'm going to say the division MVP will be Stephon Gilmore from the New England Patriots.
Oh, do you think he's going to be there all season?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because I have them being 11-6 and being the 2 seed and not trading them. Okay. I think Stephon Gilmore is going to come back, have a great year. Wouldn't surprise me if, drumroll, he wins Defensive Player of the Year. It can't always go to Aaron Donald, people. They got to switch it up.
No, it can be Aaron Donald.
Okay.
Or Khalil Mack. One of those two. Like, it's going to be one of the two. You can what's kid in DC?
How is, it's funny because I'll be seeing the Bears defense getting toasted out here, yet Khalil Mack always wins Defensive Player of the Year. But
dog. Khalil demands a double, triple team. I mean, Aaron Donald is going to be the Defensive Player of the Year until Aaron Donald decides he doesn't want it. But if we want to pretend like someone can compete for it, I mean, Chase Young. Chase Young. That Washington defensive line is so nasty. Like we're going to talk about it next week.
Chase Young winning Defensive Player of the Year would be big.
That defensive line is so disgusting.
I think
that's what scares me.
I'm gonna throw another name out here for Defensive Player of the Year. Might get some love. Myles Garrett.
Yes, that was my other. Yes.
He a bad man. He's a bad. Yo, do you remember? It's like wild to me that Myles Garrett was number 1 overall pick years ago, and I completely forgot about it. That was a number 1 overall pick.
Myles Garrett is what we thought the Jadeveon Clowney was going to be.
Nah, let's not act like the crazy thing is Jadeveon Clowney is like still good when healthy and playing. He's still really, really good,
and he plays.
And they're on the same defense now.
Yeah, so they're on the
same defense now. God bless the AFC North. Boy, I know them games against the Steelers. Big Ben gonna be questioning all types of retirement.
He gonna retire at halftime. What's that dude from the Bills who retired at halftime in the locker room? That's gonna be Ben. Ben like,
yo, what is the equivalent in the business in our business 9-to-5 world? What is the equivalent of quitting at halftime?
Getting fired before lunch. No, you know what? It's getting fired on a Friday afternoon.
Hey, nah. Getting fired on a Friday afternoon will have you ready to commit some crimes, yo. Like you niggas wait until Friday.
Getting fired Friday at 4:30.
Hey, I got one for you. What's worse, getting fired on Friday afternoon or fired on your day off?
Fired on a Friday afternoon because at least on my day off, I'm at the crib. Like I can't imagine putting a whole day in of productivity for the man, and then he gonna turn around and send me home with my last check. Like, I'd be furious.
Man, that's that shit. That man, you'll be. Look, you get fired on a Friday afternoon. You know how they firing you too. They definitely bringing security to your desk because they know you about to act a fool.
They gonna see you packing your stuff. Like, AD, come talk to me real quick. Let me holler at you. And you already know what time it is. I wouldn't even go talk to them. Like for me, here's a rule of thumb I've always followed. If anyone from HR schedules a meeting after 3:00 on a Friday, decline it. Decline it and make up a doctor's appointment. Don't go to that meeting. Yo, nothing good comes.
Okay, but my thing is, I agree with you. Definitely decline it and then see how fast the follow-up is. If the follow-up is immediate, you are getting fired.
Yes.
You are getting fired. Now, if it's hey, I saw you decline this. What's a good time for you? HR just want to chat. They just want to chat. Yeah. They probably gonna slap your wrist real quick, say don't do something. But if they say we need to schedule this meeting as soon as possible, let me know when you're free. You are going to be unemployed.
Yep.
Unemployed.
Because you don't get promotions on a Friday afternoon. You get promotions in the morning so you can work hard during the day. Like if you're going to get promoted, that meeting is going to be at like 10 or 10:30. And we'll say, D, congratulations, you've been promoted. We're going to give you a 5% raise. You're going to feel so good. You're going to work really hard. Like your productivity level is going to increase.
It's funny because you were there. When I got promoted, that meeting was definitely in the morning.
Yeah.
That meeting was definitely in the morning. So you're right.
You get promoted in the morning, you get fired in the afternoon.
Anything else in the AFC East? That's all I got. I know I'm with a hot take right now, and I'm really buying in on the Patriots stock. It's because I have a lot of respect for Bill. And I think when it comes to the greats, when the greats are greating, it's hard to kick them down 2 years in a row.
That's fair.
Like if you think about it, a couple of years when the Packers missed the playoffs, they more so missed it because Aaron Rodgers missed time. He stays healthy, they can be a wild card team. We've seen it. That man has taken bad rosters into the playoffs as a wild card team and given people hell. The 2 years they didn't make the playoffs was because he didn't play the whole season. The roster was bad. Defense couldn't stop nobody. You can't sit here and seriously convince me that the Patriots under Bill Belichick are going to be that bad 2 years in a row. 2 years. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to believe that, and it's even harder for me to believe that they're going to let the Buffalo Bills, a team that they've been kicking the door in for the last 20 years, run them over 2 years in a row. No, sir, Bob. That's all I got on the AFC East.
I'm with you. Cole Beasley, don't ruin this.
All right, man. What else we got? We had an hour.
I don't know. Do we
one of our longer episodes? But shout out to the people who are here.
Should we or should we save it for another time?
Now I know you wanted to get your Waffle House slander on. Go ahead.
That's right. No. We'll talk about it another time because this is going to turn into a 20-minute conversation. We'll save it for another day.
You're right, because you know how I feel about Waffle House. Yo, last thing for me. I know you want to talk about this too. Tonight, Dipset.
Yes, sir.
The Locks versus people. This is for real hip hop lovers. And I'm raising my voice right now because I need y'all to feel how passionate I am. This is for real hip hop lovers. If you can't hear the Dipset anthem instrumental in your head right now, if you can't hear the All About the Benjamins instrumental in your head right now when you think about this battle is not for you. If you can't name me 3 to 4 Locks and or Dipset records, this battle is not for you. This is for the real hip hop lovers. I'm gonna ask you quickly, who do you got?
Oh, Dipset. Dog, as soon as Dipset national anthem drop, that's the only national anthem we recognize, by the way. As soon as the Dipset national anthem drop, it's over. I don't care what the Locks play. As soon as the Dipset national anthem drop, the verses is over.
Nah, you can't say that. You can't say it don't matter what the Locks play because I'm going to tell you right now, the Locks are on one of the greatest, if not the greatest hip-hop record of all time in the All About the Benjamins remix. That's an automatic point. The Locks, no, Dipset cannot play the Dipset anthem in response to All About the Benjamins. You will lose. You will lose.
They're going to play Oh Yes in response to that. They're going to play something. They're going to play something to remind the Locks that we still here, but you can have this point. The Dipset anthem is the last song of the night, and it is going to, by then they'll be up by 40. It won't matter. But
okay. Look, it's funny because everyone was so quick to say Dipset's easily going to win this, and I was like, yo, the Locks got anthem. So now I'm thinking the Locks are going to win, but I love them both. But now I'm like, nah, y'all sleeping on the Locks because between Jada, Styles, and
I lost that. Oh, let me look at this.
Between Jada, Styles P, and I'm forgetting the third member of the Locks. There are a lot of bangers. There are a lot. Sheek Low, yeah. There are a lot of bangers. Don't sleep on the Locks. And I'm going to say maybe to their advantage, the Locks have a few more R&B hip hop records. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. That plays a factor.
Listen,
Dipset, they talking to the street. Matter of fact, after this, I'm putting my do-rag on because I'm getting.
Yes, sir. We getting the pink tall tee. Here's my thing about the moment Jadakiss plays Why is over. Dipset wins because Why is a terrible song. And then when we talk about people don't know this, Santana has a mixtape with Lil Wayne. It's called I Can't Feel My Face. Mm-hmm. That joint is banger after banger. Like Santana could put that on rotation and murder half of what the Locks has to play. Like, I hope Santana, you know what, Dipset can play their rap that they did for the Knicks. Have you seen that on YouTube?
Oh my goodness.
They can, dog, Cam killed that joint.
Yo, the thing is, this battle to me is feeling like the Fab Jadakiss battle. Everyone was like, no way Jadakiss gonna beat Fab. And what Fab do? Fab was just body shot, body shot, body shot, body shot. Then hit him with the head. But in Fabulous's defense, his DJ was not playing his hits. His DJ was not playing his hits. So we'll see. That's all I got for this week, man. You know, anything you got? I'm about to hit the people with my usual go-to lines, but I'm gonna let you, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, as always, this show's brought to you by goingfor2.com. D, say goodbye to the people.
Hey man, you already know when you see this Nas fade, it can only be one brother, the good brother, Los D Mix. Make sure y'all follow my boy Danny Ocean on socials. Go ahead, throw your socials out here.
Oh, me? Oh, Mad Ads 14. My bad. That was a terrible. That was me.
Good.
You did it perfectly.
14, make sure you follow him. Make sure you follow your boy Los D Mix at Los D Mix. Hey man, let me tell y'all something. And tell you something, Danny Ocean. I've been cooking up some music too. I've been cooking up.
Man, you've been talking about this music. When are you gonna drop it? The streets been asking.
Whoa! Give me some time. It's gonna get there. It's gonna get there. It's gonna get there. It's gonna get there. That's all for me though. It's all for me though. I gotta put my do-rag on, people, because Dipset Locks. It's that time. I ain't even from New York, but I'm about to get my New York swag on today.
Get the butters out the closet.
Shit, might be time.
Peace.
All love, people.